This transmission is for those that are ready to trust themselves again, for those who are tired of searching, tired of second guessing, tired of being pulled in every direction, and ready to return to the place they've been seeking all along, themselves. Because the greatest return you will ever make, it's not to a place, it is to yourself. So today is an invitation, a turning, a call home. Welcome back to your cosmic sanctuary. I am Elle, the holistic energy alchemist, and you have entered a space where we don't simply explore consciousness, we fully embody it. Where we don't simply gather information, we restore relationship. Relationship with our bodies, with our consciousness, with our own inner knowing. Because transformation doesn't begin when you know more. It begins when you come back into relationship with your. Throughout this orientation series, we've been following one question. In part 1, we explored the Great Misorientation, that maybe what feels off in our lives isn't because something is wrong with us, but because humanity has become oriented away from its center. Then, in part 2, we explored how the collective pattern becomes personal. We looked at centrifugal and centripetal orientation, how one pulls our awareness outward while the other gathers us back to our center. Today, we complete the trilogy by answering the question these first 2 videos have been leading us toward. How do we return? One of the greatest consequences of misorientation is not simply that we forget who we are. It's also that we forget how to trust ourselves, how to love ourselves. Because every time that we stop listening to ourselves, every time we override how we feel, every time we trust everyone else's voice except our own, we begin abandoning ourselves. And if we keep abandoning ourselves, how could trust grow? How could discernment deepen? How could love flourish? Discernment is not something that someone else can give you. It is something that grows through relationship with yourself. This is why reorientation matters. It is not simply just a change in your perspective. It is a change in direction. It is the conscious redirection of your awareness. Because where your awareness goes, your attention follows. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, life begins organizing itself around that investment. A centrifugally oriented life is constantly being pulled away from itself by circumstances, by fear, by urgency, by expectation, by responsibilities, by headlines, by opinions, always scanning, always bracing, always preparing, always planning, never settling, never resting. When your awareness is continually captured by everything outside of you, your energy becomes scattered. And scattered energy cannot create inner stability. So we begin searching for stability in changing circumstances, security in changing people, worth in changing opinions, identity in changing roles. And then we wonder why we feel anxious, why we feel disconnected, why we don't trust ourselves. But stability is not something you find. It is something that emerges when your awareness has a center to root in. Security is not something the world can give you. It is what naturally unfolds when your consciousness is no longer constantly leaving home. This is why you often hear the way through is in, because your relationship with the world will always reflect your relationship with yourself. Now, the body is not simply something that you possess. The body is your medium. It is the living medium through which your consciousness experiences itself. It is the oracle that has never stopped communicating. We've simply forgotten how to listen. Before we ever learned to speak English or whatever language, our first language is sensation. A baby doesn't think it's hungry. It feels it. It doesn't analyze discomfort. It expresses it. Long before the mind could explain, the body already knew. When you redirect your awareness back into your body, you begin restoring your relationship with your body. You notice your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, your emotional weather patterns, your thought loops, not to judge them, but to become familiar with your inner landscape. This begins to shift your nervous system back to safety, and it initiates you back to knowing yourself. To know thyself was never a philosophy. It is an orientation, an invitation to become so deeply acquainted with your own inner landscape that you no longer abandon yourself in search of answers or to please others. To reorient yourself is a reintroduction to your true self without the noise, without the conditioning, without the constant need for others' permission, because the answers that you have been searching for were never separate from you. They were waiting for your awareness to return. This is why I say your body is your medium. Awareness is the movement. Relationship is the reunion. Trust is the fruit, and sovereignty is the outcome. Every time you consciously bring your awareness back to yourself instead of immediately giving it away to the noise around you, you reclaim stewardship of your own consciousness. You reclaim stewardship of your own energy. You reclaim stewardship of your own life, because you cannot govern a kingdom that you have abandoned. Every moment you spend seeking yourself outside of yourself is another moment your kingdom remains without its sovereign. But every moment you return, the sovereign returns too. Now, loves, I'd like to leave you with a little challenge. For the next 7 days, before you ask someone else for the answer, I want you to pause. Take a slow, deep, conscious breath. Allow your nervous system to settle. Then close your eyes. Turn your awareness inward. Ask yourself the question you are about to ask someone else. Then simply listen. Don't force it. Just listen. The purpose of this challenge is not to receive an immediate answer every single time. The purpose is to begin retraining the direction of your awareness, to strengthen your own inner compass, to rebuild trust with the part of you that has always known. And when the answer does come, honor it, follow it, because trust is not built only by hearing your inner knowing. Trust is built by living it. Every time you listen inward, you reclaim a little more of your energy. a little more of your trust, a little more of your authority, a little more of your sovereignty. Thank you for joining me in this transmission. If part 1 helped you recognize the misorientation and part 2 helped you understand how it operates, then let part 3 be the moment you choose to turn. Turn your awareness inward. Turn your energy home. Turn your trust back toward yourself, because every return begins with a single turn back to you. And every act of reorientation is the beginning of true sovereignty. Till next time, keep returning home.